Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Raymond Young. Here are tonight's top stories. Pandams threaten legal action against Legco official in escalating row over extradition vetting panel. Fears grow of a sharp rise in casualties as Israel and Palestinians in Gaza exchange blows. And history is made in dramatic style as winner in Kentucky Derby is disqualified. The pro-democracy camp has threatened to take legal action against Legislative Council Secretary General Kenneth Chan, accusing him of favoring pro-Beijing lawmakers. This came after the House committee paused guidelines to stop Democrats James Tow from presiding over a committee that is vetting controversial amendments to the extradition law. Yu Ping reports.
Pan-Democrats have accused Legislative Council Secretary General Kenneth Chan of overstepping his authority and siding with the pro-establishment camp. This came after Chan sent notices to all legislators, asking if they will accept guidelines passed by the House committee yesterday to unseat James Tow as presiding legislator over the panel tasked with scrutinizing extradition amendments. Pro-government lawmakers who dominate the House committee want Abraham Shack to replace Tow, who has been accused of dragging his feet over the election of a chairman. If lawmakers support the guidelines, Shack will take over. The Legco Secretary General was drawn into the controversy when he distributed notices to lawmakers 1 hour after the House committee meeting. Pan-Democrats are demanding that Chan withdraw the notices. They also threatened to take legal action against him.
That legal lawyer's letters being drafted, it would essentially surround the issue of misconduct in public office.
Democratic Party Andrew Wang, meanwhile, is tabling a new proposal on extradition arrangements. He wants local courts to try more crimes committed overseas, including murder and manslaughter, if either the suspect or the victim is an SAR resident. Yu Ping, HKIBC.
A 17-year-old student was among 12 people arrested as customs officers stepped up a crackdown on drug trafficking between Hong Kong and Macau. 10 of the 11 cases uncovered yesterday were at the Hong Kong-Macau ferry terminal. In all, drugs worth $1.3 million were seized. The whole, including heroin and cocaine, was found hidden in clothes and personal belongings. The biggest seizure was 3 kilograms of suspected heroin worth $1.2 million. Overseas, there are fears of an escalating death toll as Israel bombards the Gaza Strip and Palestinians aim rockets at Israeli towns. The worst confrontation in months has already claimed several victims, including a Palestinian toddler and her pregnant mother, and an Israeli man. Sarah Wong reports.
Thick smoke rose from parts of the Gaza Strip after Israel launched dozens of airstrikes against the blockaded enclave. Gaza's health ministry said the raids killed at least 4 Palestinians. A 14-month-old girl and her pregnant mother were among them. By nightfall, Israeli warplanes expanded the bombardment against what were said to be military compounds run by Hamas, the group which controls Gaza. At least 2 commercial and residential buildings were flattened, including the office of the Turkish news agency Anadolu. More than 400 rockets were fired from Gaza into southern Israel yesterday. Most of the rockets were shot down by Israel's Iron Dome defense system, but 1 man was killed by shrapnel and some homes were hit. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he ordered the military to continue the massive airstrikes to punish Hamas. The international community has reacted with alarm and urged Israel and the Palestinians to end hostilities. Sarah Wong, HKIBC.
Catholic churches in Sri Lanka remain shut for the second Sunday, following fears that terrorists might strike again, 2 weeks after the Easter bombing carnage.
I feel very sad. More than the anger that I have, I feel very pity about the people who did this. They didn't realize that all are humans. They just think themselves as another community and the people who died as another division of human beings. If they really consider all as one, they wouldn't have done this. I feel very sad.
Outside St. Anthony's Shrine in Colombo, people prayed on the streets. The church was one of 3 attacked by suicide bombers who also targeted 3 luxury hotels in the Sri Lankan capital. More than 250 people were killed in the explosions. There's fresh tension on the Korean peninsula after Pyongyang carried out another military drill. But U.S. President Donald Trump is convinced that he can reach a nuclear deal with North Korea. Here is Sarah Wong.
A TV news bulletin informed North Koreans about their leader's latest move amid signs of destabilization on the Korean peninsula. Kim Jong-un was shown supervising a strike drill, testing long-range rocket launchers and unidentified tactical guided weapons. State media said he was greatly satisfied with the display. Kim urged his troops to enhance their combat ability to defend the political sovereignty and economic self-sustenance of the country. South Korea's military detected Pyongyang's launch of several short-range projectiles, which traveled up to 200 kilometers before plunging into the Sea of Japan. Seoul slammed the tests as the violation of a military agreement between the 2 Koreas last year. Pyongyang appears to be flexing its muscles following the collapse of the summit between Kim and U.S. President Donald Trump in Hanoi in February. But in a tweet yesterday, Trump expressed confidence